Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Rupinder Kaur Chawla with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates 7 new defence companies to the nation, says these new companies would form a strong base for military strength of the country in future. Defence manufacturing is crucial in meeting the country's goal of self-reliance, says Rajnath Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts the country is now connecting its traditional skills with modern possibilities, performs Bhumi Pujan ceremony of a hostel Phase 1 in Surat, Gujarat, virtually. More than 97 crore 14 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says universal vaccination is the key to curb spread of the pandemic. Joint Entrance Examination JEE Advanced 2021 results declared. A total of 41,862 candidates qualified the exam. Vijayadashami is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders to lock horns in summit clash at Dubai today. As India is on the verge of vaccinating 100 crore people against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses and others who made this possible. At the same time, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today dedicated 7 new defence companies to the nation. The companies are Munitions India Limited, Armoured Vehicles Nigam Limited, Advanced Weapons and Equipment India Limited, Troop Comforts Limited, Yantra India Limited, India Optel Limited and Gliders India Limited. Addressing the gathering through video conference, Mr. Modi said 41 ordnance factories are being converted into 7 corporate entities as a measure to improve India's self-reliance and defence preparedness.
आजादी के इस अमृत काल में देश एक नए भविष्य के निर्माण के लिए नए संकल्प ले रहा है और जो काम दशकों से अटके थे उन्हें पूरा भी कर रहा है। 41 ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्रीज को नए स्वरूप में किए जाने का निर्णय, 7 नई कंपनियों की ये शुरुआत देश की इसी संकल्प यात्रा का हिस्सा है। मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि ये सभी 7 कंपनियां आने वाले समय में भारत की सैन्य ताकत का एक बहुत बड़ा आधार बनेगी।
He said the government and public sector have joined hands for Rashtra Suraksha that will boost India's economy and encourage to reach new heights. Mr. Modi said India's defence sector was lacking innovation after achieving independence. He said these 7 new companies will push the government's efforts towards progress and self-reliance in the defence sector. The Prime Minister said an order book of more than 65,000 crore rupees reflect the increasing confidence of the country in these companies. The Prime Minister said for the first time after independence, so many major reforms are happening in the defence sector. He said under the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, the country aims to make India the world's largest military power on its own and the development of modern military industry in India.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान के तहत देश का लक्ष्य भारत को अपने दम पर दुनिया की बड़ी सैन्य ताकत बनाने का है। भारत में आधुनिक सैन्य इंडस्ट्री के विकास का है। पिछले 7 वर्षों में देश ने मेक इन इंडिया के मंत्र के साथ अपने इस संकल्प को आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया है। आज देश के डिफेंस सेक्टर में जितनी ट्रांसपेरेंसी है, ट्रस्ट है और टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन अप्रोच है, उतनी पहले कभी नहीं थी।
Mr. Modi mentioned that it is our target that Indian companies not only establish expertise in their products but also become a global brand. He urged that while competitive cost is our strength, quality and reliability should be the identity. The Prime Minister urged the startups to become a part of this new journey through these companies to leverage the research and expertise of each other. He mentioned that the government has given these new companies not only a better production environment but also complete functional autonomy. He reiterated that the government has also ensured that the interests of the employees are fully protected. Speaking on the occasion, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said defence manufacturing is crucial in meeting the country's goal of self-reliance. He said in recent years, the country's defence industry is not only moving towards self-reliance, but it has scaled new heights in defence exports as well, which were impossible till now.
आज हमारा देश अपनी पूरी क्षमता और पोटेंशियल के साथ दुनिया भर के लिए डिफेंस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब के रूप में सामने आने के लिए पूरी तरह से तैयार है। हमारा उद्देश्य पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सेक्टर की एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन के साथ डिफेंस सेक्टर में डिजाइन से लेकर प्रोडक्शन और एक्सपोर्ट के क्षेत्र में भारत को दुनिया के शीर्ष देशों में लाकर खड़ा करना है, यह हमारा उद्देश्य है।
Our Chennai correspondent has filed this report.
The company has the Heavy Vehicles Factory, Engine Factory, Institute of Learning and Armored Vehicle Headquarter in its campus. The Heavy Vehicle Factory has manufactured the state-of-the-art Bhishma and Arjun tanks and trawl assembly, which is the equipment designed to create a vehicle-safe lane of 5.39 meter width through a minefield using 4 number of trawl tanks in tandem. Trawl is an anti-mine system which has components that could detect all type of mines usually encountered by the tanks. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
The Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the country is now connecting its traditional skills with modern possibilities. After performing the Bhumi Pujan ceremony of the hostel Phase 1, built by Saurashtra Patel Seva Samaj in Surat via video conferencing today, the Prime Minister remembered Sardar Patel and quoted the great leader to emphasize that caste and creed should not be allowed to hinder the task of national development.
सरदार साहब ने कहा था, जाति और पंथ को हमें रुकावट नहीं बनने देना है। हम सभी भारत के बेटे और बेटियां हैं। हम सभी को अपने देश से प्रेम करना चाहिए। हम खुद इसके साक्षी हैं कि सरदार साहब की इन भावनाओं को गुजरात ने किस तरह हमेशा मजबूती दी है। राष्ट्र प्रथम ये सरदार साहब की संतानों का जीवन मंत्र है।
The Prime Minister said India is currently in its 75th year of independence. Along with new resolutions, this Amrit Kal inspires us to remember those personalities who played a big role in awakening public consciousness. It is very important for today's generation to know about them, he added. Mr. Modi said, in the new national education policy, the option of teaching professional courses in the local language has also been given.
नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति में प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज की पढ़ाई स्थानीय भाषा में, मातृभाषा में कराए जाने का विकल्प भी दिया गया है। अब पढ़ाई का मतलब डिग्री तक ही सीमित नहीं है, बल्कि पढ़ाई को स्किल के साथ जोड़ा जा रहा है। देश अपनी पारंपरिक स्किल को भी अब आधुनिक संभावनाओं से जोड़ रहा है। स्किल और इकोसिस्टम से मिलकर आज नए भारत की नींव रख रहे हैं। स्टार्टअप इंडिया की सफलता हमारे सामने है।
Referring to the robust recovery in the wake of the pandemic, the Prime Minister said that the whole world is full of hope about India with the speed with which the economy has made a comeback after the difficult times of Corona. More than 97 crore 14 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Health Ministry said over 30 lakh 26,000 doses were administered yesterday. India reported more than 16,000 new cases during the last 24 hours. India's active caseload stands at 2,03,678 and it is the lowest in 216 days. The ministry said the recovery rate is currently at 98.07%, highest since March last year. Over 19,000 people recovered in the last 24 hours and total recoveries touched 3,33,82,100. More than 100 crore 35 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and UTs so far through Government of India free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. Health Ministry said more than 10 crore 53 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the state and UTs to be administered.
Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas Hardeep Singh Puri inaugurated and laid foundation stones of many development projects at the Jammu City Convention Centre virtually. Speaking on the occasion, the Union Minister said the central government's development model emphasizes that the benefits of every centrally sponsored scheme should reach directly to the beneficiaries. The minister also said that the metro rail project in Jammu and Kashmir will be approved by next week, and the demand of LPG gas pipeline for Jammu and Kashmir will also be given top priority by the government. Still in Jammu and Kashmir, 2 army personnel, including a junior commissioned officer, were martyred last evening in an encounter with terrorists at Bhatta Dhuria area in Poonch district of Jammu division. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the encounter is still on.
The Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE has said that the first term board examinations for classes 10th and 12th will be conducted offline in November-December this year, and the date sheet for it will be announced on 18th of this month. In a circular, the board said the exams will be objective type and the duration of the exams will be 90 minutes. In view of the winter session, the exams will start from 11:30 a.m. instead of 10:30 a.m. After the conduct of the first term exams, the results in the form of the marks scored will be declared. The CBSE said the second term examination will be conducted in March-April next year, and whether it will be objective or subjective type will depend on the COVID situation in the country. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has urged for greater equity in vaccine access and affordability as the world looked for a faster exit towards recovery and growth. Participating in the restricted breakfast meeting of the International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C., Ms. Sitharaman conveyed that India recognizes that universal vaccination is the key to stemming the spread of the virus. She highlighted to all the participants that despite the pandemic crisis, India continued its agenda of structural reforms. She said wide-ranging reforms, including in agriculture, labor and financial sector, are expected to contribute towards acceleration of the economy. Ms. Sitharaman also attended the plenary meeting of the International Monetary and Financial Committee, IMFC, of the Board of Governors of the International Monetary Fund yesterday. The members of the IMFSC elaborated the actions and measures taken by member countries to combat COVID-19 and facilitate economic recovery.
India and the US reaffirmed their commitment to raising $100 billion annually from public and private sector sources to help develop the two countries' efforts to tackle climate change. The climate crisis was the first topic of discussion at a meeting of the India-US Economic and Financial Partnership yesterday under the leadership of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. A joint statement said the first session of the meeting dedicated to climate finance, reflecting our respective commitments to driving urgent progress in combating climate change and the critical role of climate finance in achieving this shared global goal. The results of Joint Entrance Examination JEE Advanced 2021 have been declared. Mridul Agarwal of IIT Delhi Zone has secured the first rank by scoring 348 marks out of 360. Ms. Kavya Chopra of IIT Delhi Zone is the top-ranked female. She obtained 286 marks out of 360. A total number of 1,41,699 candidates appeared in both papers 1 and 2 in JEE Advanced 2021.
Maharashtra government has taken an important decision for thousands of police constables. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has approved the proposal which paves the way for the promotion of lower-ranked police personnel, and they can fulfill the dream of becoming police sub-inspector. This decision is expected to benefit around 45,000 constables, ASIs and PSIs in the state. A report.
Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has approved the proposal of scrapping the post of police knight so that police constables can go up to the rank of police sub-inspector by the time they retire. Due to the current ranks in the police department, police personnel who joins the police force as a constable could most probably get the promotion up to ASI after more than 30 years of service, and they could not fulfill their dream of becoming PSI in their service. But now these police personnel will get promotion opportunities in short duration in their service, and they can retire as a police officer. This decision will not only help to increase more number of police officers of PSI rank, but also increase the ASIs and investigating personnel. Shailesh Patil, AR News, Mumbai.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates 7 new defence companies to the nation, says these new companies would form a strong base for military strength of the country in future. Defence manufacturing is crucial in meeting the country's goal of self-reliance, says Rajnath Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts the country is now connecting its traditional skills with modern possibilities. Performs Bhumi Pujan ceremony of a hostel Phase 1 in Surat, Gujarat virtually. More than 97 crore 14 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says universal vaccination is the key to curb spread of pandemic. Joint Entrance Examination JEE Advanced 2021 results declared. A total of 41,862 candidates qualified the exam. Vijay Dashmi is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders to lock horns in summit clash at Dubai today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उत्प्रेरित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें। FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर।
Welcome back to the Midday News. The festival of Vijay Dashmi or Dashera is being celebrated across the country today. The festival is celebrated to remember Lord Ram's victory over Ravan, marking the triumph of good over evil. The day also marks the culmination of Navratri and Durga Puja. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion of Vijay Dashmi. In his message, President Kovind said Vijay Dashmi is celebrated to mark the victory of good over evil. The Vice President, in his message, said Dashera is an occasion to remind everyone of the need to constantly quell the demonic forces and foster goodness and harmony. Sarsang Chalak of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS, Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, has said that a population policy is applicable to all groups for a country like India. While stressing the need of revamping the population policy, he said the population imbalance may pose problems in the country's development. He also underlined the need for creating a National Register of Citizens, NRC, to keep a tab on illegal infiltrators. Dr. Mohan Bhagwat was addressing the main function of annual Vijay Dashmi festival of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh in Nagpur this morning. He also raised questions over the unchanged anti-Indian attitude of neighbouring countries like China and Pakistan, while recalling the supreme sacrifice by freedom fighters in India's independence. Dr. Bhagwat appealed that the future generation should know this glorious history amidst the ongoing Amrit Mahotsav celebration of independence.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
In today's episode, we are paying tributes to the great but unsung revolutionary freedom fighter, Durga Devi Vohra, also known as Durgavati Devi, who left us on 15th October in 1999. She was a key member of Chandrasekhar Azad and Bhagat Singh's Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, HSRA.
Another association member, Bhagwati Charan Vohra, was her husband, and hence the association members used to call her Bhabhi, and she became popular as Durga Bhabhi in Indian revolutionary circles. At that time, she was one of the few women revolutionaries who actively participated in the armed revolution against the ruling British Raj.
After Saunders's assassination on 17th of December 1928, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru came to Durga Devi for help. She not only gave them a large sum of money, rather daringly agreed to help them escape Lahore. She posed as the wife of Bhagat Singh and put her infant son Sachin in his lap while Rajguru carried their luggage as their servant.
They passed fearlessly through a police cordon and boarded a first-class train carriage for Lucknow, where they changed trains for Calcutta. In order to avoid recognition, Bhagat Singh had shaved off his beard and cut his hair short the previous day and dressed in a Western attire.
After attending some sessions of the Calcutta Congress, Durga Devi returned to Lahore with her son. In April 1929, Bhagat Singh and his associate Batukeshwar Dutt set off 2 low-intensity homemade bombs among some unoccupied benches of the Central Legislative Assembly.
In Lahore, investigators discovered the HSRA's bomb factory in Kashmir House, which was rented out in Durga Bhabhi's husband Bhagwati Charan's name. They arrested Sukhdev, Jai Gopal and Kishori Lal, but Bhagwati Charan managed to go into hiding.
During this period, Durga Devi supported the families of revolutionaries in Lahore and helped in passing on letters for absconding revolutionaries. She led the funeral procession of revolutionary Jatin Das from Lahore to Calcutta after his death in a 63-day jail hunger strike. She was also involved in the procurement of weapons for the revolutionaries around this time.
In 1929, Bhagwati Charan and Durga Devi were involved in a plot with Chandrasekhar Azad, Yashpal and Vaishampayan to free Bhagat Singh from prison by raiding a police van during his transfer from Borstal to Central Jail in Lahore.
On 28th May 1930, Bhagwati Charan died when he was testing a bomb in a forest and it exploded prematurely in his hand. Following her husband's death, Durga Devi was constantly on the move, staying one step ahead of police.
When Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were awarded the death sentence, Durga Devi attempted to kill Lord Haley, an ex-governor of Punjab and a staunch enemy of revolutionaries. Although Haley escaped, his several associates died. Durga Devi was caught by the British police and imprisoned for 3 years.
After independence, Durga Devi started living as a common citizen in quiet anonymity in Ghaziabad. She later opened a school for poor children in Lucknow. She died in Ghaziabad on October the 15th, 1999, at the age of 92.
Her courage and fearlessness were indeed like Durga Ma. As she fought against the evil British imperialist forces,
to free her motherland from foreign rule.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
The nation pays homage to former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on his birth anniversary today. Dr. Kalam is also known as the Missile Man of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to Dr. Kalam on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Dr. Kalam dedicated his life in making India strong, prosperous and capable. The Prime Minister said Dr. Kalam will always remain a source of inspiration for the countrymen. In IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders will lock horns in the summit clash at Dubai today. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. While Mahinder Singh Dhoni-led Chennai Super Kings defeated Delhi Capitals in Qualifier 1, Kolkata Knight Riders defeated Royal Challengers Bangalore in Eliminator 1 and Delhi Capitals in Qualifier 2 to book a place in the final. Chennai Super Kings have 3 titles with 5 final defeats, while Kolkata Knight Riders have won both their finals under Gautam Gambhir.
Prasar Bharati is phasing out outdated analog DD terrestrial broadcast. This paves the way for emerging technologies and new content opportunities. Now the viewers can watch over 150 TV channels free of cost on DD Free Dish, a direct-to-home, free-to-air service of Doordarshan. The channels include all DD channels and various private and educational TV channels. For any query, viewers can contact 011 258 06200 on working days between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Veteran news reader and news editor Jaya Balaji passed away in Chennai yesterday. She was 75. She passed away after a massive heart attack. Jaya Balaji joined AIR Chennai News Unit in 1967 and had worked in AIR Tiruchirappalli and New Delhi. She retired in 2005.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be 34 degrees. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky. It recorded a minimum temperature of 23 degrees, while the maximum is expected to be 34 degrees. Generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The lower limit of temperature was 26 degrees Celsius, while upper limit is expected to be nearly 35 degrees. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city noted a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 8 and 24 degrees. Jammu will also have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 18 degrees. Maximum will be around 34. Leh will have a mainly clear sky and the temperature will vary between 1 and 15 degrees. Gilgit will have a mainly clear sky with temperature hovering between 5 and 25 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 33. Visakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The city noted a minimum temperature of 27 degrees, maximum to be around 33. In Hyderabad, the temperature will hover between 20 and 32 degrees with generally cloudy sky with light rain. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Temperature will fluctuate between 18 and 28 degrees. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 23 degrees. Maximum will be around 30. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates 7 new defence companies to the nation, says these new companies would form a strong base for military strength of the country in future. Defence manufacturing is crucial in meeting the country's goal of self-reliance, says Rajnath Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts that country is now connecting its traditional skills with modern possibilities, performs Bhumi Pujan ceremony of a hostel Phase 1 in Surat, Gujarat virtually. More than 97 crore 14 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says universal vaccination is the key to curb the spread of the pandemic. Joint entrance examination JEE Advanced 2021 results declared. Total 41,862 candidates qualify the exam. Vijayadashami being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President, Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders to lock horns in summit clash at Dubai today. And with that, we end the midday news.